Hello and welcome to North Country Matters. My name is Donna Seymour. I'm a member of the St. Lawrence County branch of the American Association of University Women, one of the civic partners for this show. Today we are hosting a conversation with Clarkson student Jenna about her Pursuit of You campaign, which focuses on body image. Jenna, it is such a thrill to have you here. I know this is such an exciting time for you. You are not only the news producer here at WCKN, you're a junior at Clarkson, and you're the backup goalie for the National Championship Women's Hockey team, which just came home with the trophy, and that has to be an incredible, indescribable thrill for you and for your teammates.
I mean, hearing you say that is just, I'm still in awe. I'm like, national champion. Yeah, I guess, and I apologize for my voice, but I've been doing some yelling the past couple of days, and it's gotten to me.
You're not alone in the yelling. I know lots of Clarkson fans all over the country, and certainly here in Potsdam have been doing the same. So we're here to talk about a film that you produced last year for a class. Tell us a little bit about how you came to make the film and what the class project was that you were working on.
The class was called Social Documentation, or Documenting Social Activism is the technical term for it. And basically the gist of this course was about activism, and the essential project was, for the whole semester, was to create a mini documentary talking about something that you wanted to shed light on, basically. And I knew that I signed up for the class the year before, and I knew what I was getting myself into. Dullea was the teacher, along with Jennifer Ball, two teachers that I love here at Clarkson University, and so I was really excited for the class. And over the summer they said, start thinking, because it's not something easy. And so I think the time I knew that I wanted to do a documentary focusing on body image was when I have this exact image in my head, and we were walking down. I was with one of my teammates, and we were walking downtown, and she stopped, and she was looking at a poster of some athletic woman, probably wearing Under Armour or Nike or some sort of brand, and she was very, very small, very skinny, and she goes, "Oh man, if I could look like that girl." And we're Division I athletes, and I turned to her and I go, What? I go, that's not real. Why would you want to look like something fake when you look like yourself? It mind-boggled me, and that was, I think, a spark, I guess you could say, and why I wanted to start focusing on body image. And I mean, I've always known that it's media and fashion portrays false images. I've always known that, but it really shocked me coming from a fellow D1 athlete that she didn't know that. I mean, she knew it, but not in the same sense that I did. And I really wanted to see how other generations were affected by it. So I did some research, and I did some focus groups with some of the girls in Potsdam, and really saw that a lot of people don't know what they are seeing as false. And so that's kind of how I came up with this mini documentary.
Okay, well, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and roll the tape and show everybody the work that you created, and then afterwards we'll come back and chat about it a little bit more.
When you look in the mirror, what do you see? God damn it, I look fat today. Why do my thighs have to be so massive? Ooh, what is my hair doing? Oh, why did God bless me with Mount Everest on my forehead today? I wish I had bigger boobs. Every day we are exposed to a constant buzz of what we are and aren't supposed to look like. There is this idealistic body image that we are all trying to be, wishing we could look like them, and what we conclude most of the time is we don't. Whether you played with her or not, you know who she is, and she is one of the most influential women of all time. And we all played with her for similar reasons.
Dyed her hair.
Why did you guys like Barbie when you were little?
Because I had hair and I could play with it. She was pretty. I like to cut off.
She was pretty. Who said that? You said that? Why was she pretty?
She had blonde hair. She had blonde hair. I had a boy and she could like blonde hair, blue eyes, sunglasses.
You don't have to say that.
She's skinny.
She's skinny.
She likes fashion.
She likes fashion.
But what if Barbie were life-size? Hard to picture? Not only is life-size Barbie physically impossible in real life, she would not even be able to carry her own weight with these ridiculous proportions if she were alive. Recently, I sat down with a group of girls from the ages of 9 to 12, and when they saw this information, they were just as surprised as you were.
That's what she would look like. Crazy, right?
That's weird.
That's what she would look like if she doesn't look like it when she's small though, right? But that's what Barbie would look like.
We put so much emphasis on what Barbie looks like, but what else do we know about her? Is she nice, mean, passionate, conceited? No one really knows, and that's a big problem. Millions of the exact same body type are produced and sold to young children everywhere, setting them up to impossible standards. It's no wonder self-esteem and self-image are so low in my generation, but also the next.
I hate my thighs.
Well, I think I'm a little overweight.
I would want to be a little bit taller and thinner legs.
Probably for me just size, because I'm a bigger girl.
I sometimes just don't like my body figure.
Now, not all the blame can be put on Barbie. There are millions of TV shows, movies, advertisements that portray false images. Put social media on top of all that, and you have a recipe for self-image disaster. We are taught from a young age that what we look on the outside is the determining factor of how successful we are or will become. What is that teaching our youth?
It's leading us to think that we have to be like that. We have to be perfect, and we're not trying to be just ourselves, and we're trying to live up to this perfect body that really no one has.
No one is perfect, so why not focus on true beauty? There should be a variety of body images in the media. The important part is that it's real and it's natural. And most of the times, when we see false ads, we know it.
I let myself believe that it is the right thing and that whatever I see is what I should be looking forward to, and they make me believe that someone's beauty is defined by their physical appearance because I leave myself into believing so, even though I know it's wrong deep down. But it's so big and it's such a big influence on our lives that it becomes my own standards too, even though I'm aware that it shouldn't be. But it's hard to go against that because that's all you see and that's all you see as accepted as a society. So I do not think it's right, but am I part of the problem? Probably, because I let myself into thinking that way.
And the great thing is, most of us do know that they're false. But at the same time, we allow ourselves to judge people around us, and often we are most critical on ourselves. Dove recently did a piece called True Beauty Sketches. In this video, they took complete strangers and asked them to get to know one another. After a short time together, the people in the group were sat down individually and asked to physically describe themselves and one other person in the group to a forensic artist. What was amazing is that every time people described themselves a lot uglier and a lot unhappier than another person saw them. We have to stop being so hard on ourselves. And a big problem today is kids aren't taught properly about what they see in the media, but instead are thrown into a web of social media, consuming their communication between peers and exposing them to false advertising.
Okay, you guys know that girls gain more body fat than boys, just naturally.
What?
Yes. It's not.
A couple weeks later, I sat the girls down and was surprisingly happy to see a different mindset.
Yourself is inside, not on the outside. Like, they should ask people that they're showing on TV or media what they really are truly inside, and because you can't always base someone on the outside as they are on the inside because they're different.
If someone's bigger, it really doesn't matter. Or like people on TV, how they are different than how they really are. Like, be themselves instead of photoshopping each other.
That it's not real and that it's just fake. Everybody's beautiful, just the way they are.
Many kids don't even know what they're seeing is fake. But let's be honest, we don't even know ourselves half the time.
We have young girls growing up thinking that they have to be like that, and really we just need to be healthy human beings. We don't have to be this like person we're not.
This issue of negative body image isn't new. We've been battling this war for a long time. But it isn't hopeless. I'll give credit to companies like Dove. They're helping people understand that there are a variety of types of bodies, and your body is best for what you do.
Being an athlete, if I changed my body type, I don't know if I would be able to do the things that I can do, especially on a daily basis.
Whenever I've been successful in the past, it's been because of who I was from the inside. Nothing that I've succeeded in was because of my physical appearance. And so I shouldn't care, and it's just, if anything, you should only be working on your inner self.
However, there's still more that needs to be done. So what can we do? First, there are some small things that you can do every day to help make a change. Number 1, use shows and movies as learning tools and conversation starters. Talk about what you don't like and even what you do like and what it means. Number 2, look beyond the mirror. Focus on what you are inside, not only physicalities. Number 3, mold healthy relationships. Be around and with people that make you feel good about yourself instead of vice versa. Number 4, weight gain is normal. If you put on a couple pounds, don't worry about it. Number 5, try to eat healthy snacks most of the time. If you want McDonald's every once in a while, that's okay. Eating healthy most of the time will not only make you feel better, but it's good for you. Number 6, avoid negative statements about body, weight, body size, and shape. Number 7, compliment yourself and others on efforts, talents, accomplishments, and personal values. Receiving compliments always feels good, so give it back. But there are also some things that we can do together to make a bigger impact. One is, if you see a negative or false image, flip it around to make it positive. If you have to question an ad or something you see on the internet, change it to mean something you think is better, or simply point out what is wrong with the piece in the first place. Many people are already starting to do this, and it isn't going unnoticed. The second is forcing these false images to be labeled. Have you ever walked down a supermarket aisle and noticed certain labels for the ingredients in your food or the way they are made? Well, why not do the same thing for photos and ads? I have created a label that will be used for the same reason labels on foods are used, to know exactly what is being put into what you are consuming. The label is a modified Photoshop logo, the E standing for enhancement and the A stands for alteration. When you see this on photos, you know that they are 100% natural. It helps children, and even us, know what is and isn't real. But how do we get this label started? Well, that's where you come in. The way you can help is by supporting the Thunderclap, the Pursuit of You campaign. Thunderclap is a crowd-speaking platform website that helps people be heard by saying something together, because it can be hard for your voice to be heard in the constant stream of social media. It allows a single message to be mass shared, flash mob style, so it rises above the noise of your social networks. Together, we can make a difference. And by coming together as one unit, we can make a change about the way we feel about ourselves. Self-esteem and image are at all-time lows, and teen suicides are at all-time highs. Something needs to be changed. Paralympian track sprinter Amy Mullins once said, "If we want to discover the full potential in our humanity, we have to celebrate those heartbreaking strengths and those glorious disabilities that we all have. It is our humanity and all the potential within it that makes us beautiful. Why would you want to be anybody else but you? Do you?"
You open your video with Barbie. A little Barbie trivia here. I don't know if you know this or not, but her full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts, and she just turned 55 on March 9th, so she's just celebrated a birthday. And in what I think can be best described as a life-imitating art moment, Barbie has recently graced the covers of the 2014 Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Frankly, there's something about a plastic doll represented in this way that speaks perfectly to the ridiculous body image ideas that consume our society, doesn't it?
Oh, it's so funny that that you mentioned that, because I ran across that article on Sports Illustrated the other day, and I couldn't help but laugh. I chuckled to myself and said, "Really? That's all I could say was really. And yeah, I did know her name was Barbara Millicent. I actually, when I did my focus group with the little girls who are, as you saw in the video, I did a little presentation with them, and I said, do you know Barbara Millicent? Whatever her name.
Roberts.
Yeah, Roberts. And
yes.
they go, no, we don't know who that is. And I said, what if I told you her name was Barbie? And they're, oh, we know who Barbie is.
Yes.
And so, everyone knows who Barbie is. Yes, I agree. It's ridiculous, if I could say that, to see her on the cover of Sports Illustrated when you have so many other inspirational people that you could be showcasing.
That's right, real people.
Yes, real people. Exactly.
Well, we don't want to spend all our time trashing poor Barbie.
Yeah, poor Barbie.
But it's very true that advertising images can be very damaging to young girls because it reinforces gender stereotypes and it can send harmful body image messages.
Right.
For example, only 5% of U.S. women have a body type that is portrayed as the ideal in advertising, yet 69% of teenage girls say that magazine pictures influence their idea of the perfect body shape, which I think is a good reflection of the comment that you were making a few minutes ago about your teammate who said, oh, I wish I could look like that.
Yes.
Erin Simmons, who's a social media consultant with Caliber, worries that children are too young to understand the advertising that they are being targeted by. And that isn't just when it comes to body image. That's to all kinds of things.
In general, yes.
Like eating and clothing and how they portray themselves. And it's important to remember that fashion marketing is no longer restricted to billboards or just magazines, but there's this constant stream of media that's being presented socially, on TV, any place where young girls are around. And the assumption is made when you see an image over and over and over again that that's normal, that it's real, and that you should be following that. In fact, one study that came out recently even suggested that girls who play with Barbie can actually create limits on themselves in terms of what their sense of self is. So in your film, you work with not only fourth graders, but with college women on your sports team. So talk a little bit about what that was like and what you learned from working with both of those age groups.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to all the people that helped me make the film. It's a sensitive subject. It's a very sensitive subject. People don't want to talk about their bodies in the way that I was hoping or wanted them to talk about it. It's hard, so thank you to them. But also, when I worked with the fourth graders and the younger girls, they were all hockey players. We run a program here called Skate with the Knights, or the Little Knights program. And after one session, I was like, hey, if anybody wants to stick around, I'm going to be doing a little presentation. And it was great working with them. At the same time, it broke my heart seeing some of their responses, seeing as you saw in the video, seeing what they had to say about, oh, she's skinny and she has blonde hair. Well, not everybody is skinny like her, and not everybody has blonde hair. So it was really eye-opening for me because I have a different mindset than a lot of people. And it was shocking, like I said earlier, to see the same reaction from my teammates. And it was great working with them, but man, my jaw was open a lot, and it broke my heart. As you saw in the video, some of the girls, oh, sometimes I think I'm fat, and it breaks my heart. And I made them know, I made sure they knew after the interview that, you're beautiful the way you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to idolize these false images that you're constantly seeing. So it was great working with them, and it's an experience that I'll keep with me forever.
Well, one of the things that you talk about with the girls in the film is you talk about how you have to recognize inner beauty, and you have to think about that and not just focus on the outside. And so there actually are some positive signs that we've seen developing in society about these issues.
Oh, yes.
You talk a little bit in the film about the campaign for real beauty with Dove and other companies.
Yep.
So what did you discover when you were looking into that?
Well, it's actually funny. A friend of mine, her name's Carolyn Murad, she goes here, she's a senior. We're actually creating a website kind of centered around this right now. And this is what the website is looking into. It's looking into publicizing brands that are doing this, doing what we want them to do, showing real people. And Dove is one of them, is a huge person. Aerie just came out with a great campaign that's resemblance Dove. It's they're having models that have a variety type of body shapes, and it's
just
great.
For our audience, Aerie is American Eagle's sister store for lingerie.
Yes, sorry.
Yes,
My apologies,
sort of the
yes.
Underneath real beauty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and a lot of the times you go in those stores as, a woman or a girl, and they have all these, Victoria's Secrets. They have all these great-looking models up there, and the lingerie and the
Which
bras
are really just
and
extended
bikini
versions of Barbie in terms of
Exactly,
color, but
exactly.
not real body types.
Not real, and they don't represent the majority of the population, like you said earlier. And so they're coming out with basically lingerie ads that have a variety type of body images and aren't just twig skinny. There's some plus size people. What we consider plus is ridiculous too. And but yeah, Ari is one of them. There's a lot of people that are jumping on this bandwagon, but there's still a long way to go. It's starting to change, and you can't expect it to go, and overnight. It's going to be a slow change, and we're making that way. What I'd like to see though is just a variety of types of body images. Not this average type of woman, because there really isn't an average type of woman. There's just a variety. Do you know what I mean?
I do. In fact, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine just the other day, and she was talking about the fact that she still buys the same size clothes that she did when she was in college.
Right.
And she's gone from an 8 then to a 4 now, and the clothes are exactly the same.
Yeah.
And she said you can actually buy 00 jeans. Well, what does 00 jeans mean?
I was just going to say, it's ridiculous. What is a 00? That's not a number. Unless I've been failing math all these years or something. Like 2 zeros, I don't get it. I really don't get it. What are we going to start going negative next? Like, really?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't understand it. And
So the fashion industry has not helped by creating these false sizes as well, because somehow the assumption is that you're actually going to fit into clothes that don't actually exist.
Exactly.
When you've got 0 and 00.
I don't understand
it. One of the interesting things that has come out of this is about a year ago, a woman named Nicolette Lamb created what she calls a normal Barbie, which she's actually using 3D printers to create these dolls, and it's something that's being sourced by one of those crowdfunding campaigns, which is very interesting because people can actually donate money towards someone who wants to create something different. But she used as her model an average-sized 19-year-old, and then created what she's calling the Lamely doll, but it's really meant to be a normal Barbie, with the idea that if you're going to give young girls something to play with, don't give them a plastic fantasy doll. Give them something that actually looks like them.
I actually saw an article about it the other day. Funny that you mentioned it, and I love it. Like I said before, it's a step in the right direction. I totally support everything that they're doing with these new Barbies. Essentially, is the article I was reading, the new Barbie. What I hope to see after this is I hope to see this change, but I hope to see a variety type of body images. I was reading the article, and it was doing the comparison of Barbie and then what she had created, and it was shocking, to be honest. It was shocking, and it was. I love that we're creating this, but like I said before, I'd love to see a push for not just one standardized body type. Maybe have a Barbie, because some girls, let's be honest, that 5%, some girls do look like Barbie. There's nothing wrong with that, but the problem I have with that is that they're just doing that one type.
That's correct.
We need a variety of different types of bodies.
You know, it's interesting. My granddaughters are both into the American Girl dolls, which are interesting because they are meant to look like little girls, the same age as little girls, and they come with a variety of backstories. So they have biographies. I mean, not that it isn't an industry that makes money off kids, because it does, but they actually come with biographies. Over the summer, my granddaughters went to the American Girl store in Boston, and they have they will do things with for kids who have disabilities. That you'll actually make a doll that reflects you and your reality, which is very different than Barbie, because Barbie doesn't reflect reality, as you say. No. One of the interesting campaigns that came out just a couple of weeks ago for the National Eating Disorders Awareness Week, which is in late February, talks about how it's important to give people realistic body images, because it can lead to eating disorders if they are trying to starve themselves into this double zero fantasy. So that is something that is interesting as well, that there's real physical consequences to this. All of these things really speak to the need for media literacy at education. So can you give us some examples of that from your research and your work?
Like you mentioned earlier, a lot of these girls don't know what's coming on. It's because there's just this constant stream of social media, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, Tumblr, the list goes on of these social media. And so it can be hard to know what is real and what is fake. And this media literacy, I think we have to take it upon ourselves to try to change media. I don't necessarily think that you can have classes dedicated to knowing what is fake and what is real. I think it's up to us as a society to change that. So there isn't this false image that we're constantly saying, oh, is this real or is this fake? And as you saw in the video, I'm trying to do that with this label. I'm trying to push something out there that will help people have media literacy and know that this is fake and this is real. And I think that if they know, or what I hope it was what will happen is, if they know, they will look at it differently and say, well, why would I want to look at something that's not real? Or, I mean, I'm in a sense, how could I do that if it's not real?
It's been very encouraging to me to watch in the last few months. We've actually seen teenagers and young people go to magazines and say, stop airbrushing models, stop airbrushing the people that you're featuring, make them look real. Don't turn them into these plastic people. And of course, when you look at a person's photograph and then you see what shows up on the cover of a magazine, you can often see that they've got new bodies, they've got new hair, their skin, everything is completely different.
Are ridiculous. It's crazy. I mean, I'm drawing a blank on the name right now, but a really famous model once looked at a billboard of herself and goes, wow, I wish I looked like her, referring to herself.
Without realizing it was her.
Yeah. And and when asked about it, she said, well, it's ridiculous. That's supposed to be me, and I don't even recognize me sometimes. And it's crazy to think that actually happens, where you see models and they're like, that's not what I look like. And it's sad, to be quite honest. And I think there's this debate between people saying no airbrushing, and I truly believe no airbrushing. I'm not to say that there should be no Photoshop, because I use Photoshop all the time. Photoshop is a great tool, but it can be used in the wrong way. Just like a lot of different things in this world, it can be used for good or it can be used for bad. And unfortunately, it's been used mostly for bad. And I'm not a good photographer at all, but I know a little bit about cameras, and I do some photography on the side, and I truly believe if you're a good photographer that you should be able to take a good picture with the equipment that you're given. You shouldn't have to put it into another software and alter it. You should be able to be a good enough photographer to take a good black and white photo with a black and white lens, or etc. And I mean, that's just my personal.
Maybe fix moon eyes on our dogs and
cats. Exactly.
But other than that, leave it alone, right?
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, Jenna, I really appreciate the work that you've done for this video because it's an eye-opener for a lot of people, and that you're willing to share it with other people. And it's a great teaching tool, especially to introduce this subject to groups of young people who may not have your awareness of media, and understanding how much images can be changed and altered and completely disguised from the reality. And I certainly hope that other companies like Dove also continue to think about how they can send healthy messages to people who use their products, because in the long run, that is the socially responsible thing to do. And just as the Renfrew Center Foundation has advocated, without it, you're going to be looking at people who are doing very harmful things to themselves in order to try to live up to these false ideals in terms of body image. So thank you for coming in today, and especially when I know you'd probably rather float out, if you just continue to float after your great hockey campaign, but you're going to be at Clarkson for another year, so I hope we can look forward to seeing some more of this really incisive video work from you.
Thank you so much for having me. And if I could just say one more thing, we have Body Image Awareness Week coming up, April 12th to the 19th. We're going to be focusing on a bunch of different things, from, realizing that sexuality, those kind of things, body image, and it's going to be a great event. Come out and support it. We're going to have T-shirts and stuff.
Right here at Clarkson?
Right here at Clarkson.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So you'll put some advertising out. People can find out what you're going to do and when you're going to be doing it. That's wonderful. Thank you.
So thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Oh, believe me, it's a pleasure to have you. And the first time I saw your video, I said, oh, I have got to get that girl in the studio. So I really enjoyed it and really appreciate your work.
Thank you.
So thank you. Our time is up. These conversations are a production of North Country Matters, which is filmed here in the studios at WCKN on Clarkson campus. The show is a civic collaboration between the St. Lawrence County branch of the American Association of University Women, the St. Lawrence County League of Women Voters, and the media and communication students here at Clarkson. Thank you.